Oh, between the legs, Miller, he scores! His first goal since opening night, Andrei Miller keys Carolina. It's a 1-0 lead. Gostisbehere scores on the power play. Oh, that was faster than the Concorde. Rantanen driving his way to the front of the net and he scores. Mikko Rantanen bowls his way to the front. 36 seconds in. Rantanen's 17th of the season has Dallas within 3. Ehlers out in front, kicked away, rebound, they score! Will Carrier! Magnifique! And Carolina gets their 4-goal lead back at 6-2.
I forgot to put myself on screen. Hi, everyone. It's the Canes Corner podcast. I am Adam Gold, and we are here at Lenovo Center basking in the glow of a Star Wars night 6-3 win over the Dallas Death Star. So many Star Wars jokes were made. Hope all is well with you. We're brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. If it is for the exterior of your home, you can find it at the Aluminum Company of North Carolina on Hamlin Road in Durham. No place like it. Sammy Hanna and his crew do a great job. You should check him out for all of your exterior home improvement needs. Man, that was a good performance. It's actually a better defensive performance than an offensive performance, in my opinion. Carolina certainly scored a lot of goals, but I don't think they generated a ton of chances. What they did, I thought, in this game was, A, take advantage, and B, really limit Dallas for the most part in the first two periods. Ultimately, Dallas scored 3 times, 2 of them on the power play. One of them, Brandon Bussi threw into his own net. We don't like that. Brandon Bussi is the king of the own goal. We've seen a bunch, right? We've seen 2 legit own goals in the last 2 games. Luke Hughes into his own net, credited to Nick Ehlers. And Brandon Bussi hurls the puck into his own goal, and Jason Robertson gets his, I believe, 25th of the season as the result. Rantanen scored. You heard the goal there from Mikko. Carolina gets the first goal, Andrei Miller. We'll talk about the goals, at least some of them. Just a gorgeous play from Carolina's top line. So Andrei, who had not scored since opening night, I joked after he scored the goal to make it 1-0 that, I guess we must have another one coming. How about that? He scores the goal early in the second period to make it 4-1. Seth Jarvis, who played his first game in 8 days or 8 games, first time after missing 8 after the injury in Florida. He was excellent tonight. He scores a goal, adds an assist. He scores to make it 5-1. That's the goal that chased Jake Ottinger, who I thought struggled tonight. I don't blame him on the first goal. The second goal, from there, is probably one he wants. There was traffic. There were a lot of bodies in the way, but Jake Ottinger is one of the best goaltenders in the league. Might be the goalie for Team USA at the Olympics. That's probably not one you want to see go. The third one bounces off of him and goes in. Stankoven's goal. Fourth one, I don't blame him on on neither of the Miller goals, but he gives the puck to Jarvis for the 5th goal. The 6th goal, that wasn't him. That was Casey DeSmith by that point. And DeSmith made some good saves, to be honest. Frankly, if it wasn't for DeSmith, Jackson Blake might have had 2. Taylor Hall might have had 1. I thought Carolina's, we'll call it their third line, thought they were really, really on top of the game tonight. Carolina was excellent. They just didn't generate a ton of scoring chances. But again, always remember this about Carolina. They are much more about shot suppression and defense than they are offense. The defense is supposed to lead to offense. It's supposed to create puck possession and scoring chances. And we're still not with Jacob Slavin yet. I know it was very encouraging that he was at the morning skate today. He was in a yellow non-contact jersey. He will come back soon, I would imagine. Maybe even on this homestand. Carolina's got 2 more home games left. You've got Anaheim on Thursday, and the Seattle Kraken have been playing very, very well. They'll play the Kraken on Saturday night. We'll have John Forsland in the building. Real quick shout out to my friend Mike Maniscalco, who was named the North Carolina Sportscaster of the Year. So everybody that has broadcast for the Hurricanes here in Raleigh has at one point been named the North Carolina Sportscaster of the Year. Chuck Caton, John Forsland. I think John's got multiples. Trip Tracy last year, Mike Maniscalco this year. Not too shabby. All right. A couple of things I want to do. I want to talk about the butt clench. Real quick, the butt clench. Carolina against top teams. And I don't care what Dallas is going through right now. They are winless in their last 6. We are talking about a bona fide Stanley Cup contender. Top team. Florida. I don't care what their personnel is. I know they're not on the right now inside the playoff cut line. We all know what Florida's about. 3-goal lead, 2-goal lead. Tampa, right now, the number 1 seed in the East if the season ended today. Fortunately, it does not. 3-goal lead. So Florida twice, Tampa, Colorado. Carolina had a 4-2 lead on Montreal. And the Canes saw those leads evaporate. I was joking throughout the game. Oh, the Hurricanes have that dreaded 2-goal lead. Oh, it's a dreaded 3-goal lead. Wait, it's a 4-goal lead at 5-1. What could happen? What could go wrong? 36 seconds in, 34 seconds in, whatever. Mikko Rantanen bulls his way to the front of the net, forces it under Brandon Bussi and in. It's 5-2. And you're going, no. You can't blow a 4-goal lead. They didn't. Although the Bussi save, I believe, on Rope Hintz at 5-2. There was another save. I don't remember who it was on at 5-2. Might have been Matt Duchene. I know Jackson Blake had a blocked shot on Matt Duchene. It looked like it was going to be a goal. And then after Will Carrier restored the 4-goal lead at 6-2, a play really created by Nick Ehlers, who was excellent tonight. There were a couple of other really good saves by Brandon to keep the game, like just to keep everybody from getting super nervous. 2 power play goals were scored by both teams tonight. That's the one element of Carolina's game that continues to be a bit of a struggle. Well, there's the number of things that kind of continue to be a struggle. Carolina's only won 2 in a row. But the penalty kill, while it was very good in New Jersey, had a bit of a hard time tonight. There were a couple of good kills, but ultimately they gave up 2 power play goals tonight. But they scored twice on the power play, even though I criticized Ottinger on the Gostisbehere goal, and it was a dead giveaway on the Jarvis goal. But it was good to see Jarvis back. All right, I want to start. Well, actually, before we start, former Hurricane Hayden Fleury took a pretty bad spill into the end boards in the, I guess, was it the Winnipeg game? I forget exactly which game it was, but he went in, looked like he hit the back of his neck against the boards, and it didn't look like it was anything that should have drawn blood, but there was blood on the ice from him. He was stretchered off. I hope that he's okay. I got to know Hayden a little bit here. He's a super nice dude. I enjoyed talking with him, sometimes about hockey, sometimes about golf. He's a big golfer and follows the PGA Tour very closely. In fact, we had him on as a golf analyst a few times. I just hope he's well. right? Like Hayden Fleury a lot. He never materialized into the player that he could have been. Drafted 7th overall his draft year, but that doesn't matter. He's a really, really good dude. All right, let's get to the game tonight. And I want to talk about Carolina's blue line, which I thought was exceptional all night long. Andrei Miller could have been the first star of the game without scoring any goals. He was excellent. This is now a pretty good run of games for him. To be honest, I thought he played well against Colorado. I thought a lot of Hurricanes played well against Colorado. They fell apart with a couple of power play goals. Yes, there were mistakes made. We talked about it against the Avalanche, but Carolina put 40 really good minutes together, and it was one of those things where, man, you leave a team like that just a crack, and you're a little bit fragile. I know Carolina Hurricanes fans were really wearing it. Last Saturday night? But I thought Miller played well in the game, and he played dynamite against New Jersey yesterday, or rather Sunday, and he was outstanding tonight in his own end. Didn't have any hits. It was a +3. A lot of that is his offense, but he didn't allow a lot tonight. And I thought he and Sean Walker were special together. And maybe that's going to be the tandem. We don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know what the pairings are going to be when Jacob Slavin comes back. Part of me thinks we're going to see Slavin and Nikishin, but we could also see Slavin and Walker, and we could see Miller and Chatfield. But I think Miller and Walker really, really look like they've got some chemistry together. Gostisbehere and Chatfield were awesome tonight. So maybe it will be Slavin and Nikishin. Nikishin can play a lot of minutes, and you don't want to overdo Slavin anyway at this point. You might be picking and choosing for Jacob Slavin. Might be saving him just to save the penalty kill until Carolina gets really up and running. But by the end of the season, we'll have a better idea of how Rod Brindamore and Tim Gleason want to run it. But Miller, 20 minutes and 20 seconds, he was a +3. Walker, just under 20 minutes, he was a +2, 3 hits, 2 blocked shots. Chatfield, just over 20 minutes, he was a +1, 2 hits, 2 takeaways, 1 blocked shot. Shayne Gostisbehere, 21 and a half minutes, he had a hit. What a big hit on Maverick Bourque. Ooh, nasty hit along the wall. And he had 3 blocked shots in the game. I thought Shayne continues to be one of the absolute great stories of the season for the Hurricanes. Alexander Nikishin had a great hit on Adam Ernie in the corner to the right of Jake Ottinger's net. I didn't think Ernie was going to get up. He got up slowly after that hit. So, and I thought this was kind of a bounce back, game for Joel Nyström. Nyström is going to be a very good NHL player. He's small, he's not physical, so he's going to get you. He's probably going to be a very good third pair right shot defenseman. That's, to me, what he is. Because he's not super physical, but he is smart. But I think over the last couple of weeks, we've seen the inability at times to clear the zone. And the turnover against Colorado is, to me, that was the goal that ended the game. I talked about it. The Jack Drury goal. We're not going to get into all the other mechanisms that allowed the goal, but it all started with the turnover by Nyström. And, those are the types of things that will get you taken out of the lineup. But they have developed a trust for Nyström, and he's pretty good at killing penalties, although Carolina's penalty kill has not been good. All right, but I thought the blue line was great, and, yeah, Nyström and Nikishin were part of it. Brandon Bussi was, of course, really good tonight. We'll get to him in a little bit. But in my 3 stars, and for those people who don't know, and I thought maybe I'll just tell you real quick, we do 3 stars, and I do a player and defensive player of the game. Andrei Svechnikov was one of the best players in the game. 4 assists probably gets you a star. Seth Jarvis didn't get one of my stars. We had a lot of star candidates tonight. But I named Andrei the player of the game for 4 assists. Nick Ehlers was excellent again tonight. He had 3 helpers. He got the 2nd star, so it was Walker the 3rd star because I thought Shayne was excellent tonight. Ehlers the 2nd star, Miller the 1st star. Svechnikov got player of the game. Jalen Chatfield got my defensive player of the game. I thought he was great. Shayne Gostisbehere, who was one of the best players in the game as well, didn't get anything, but he's gotten plenty of stuff over the course of the season. But Carolina's blue line really drove everything tonight, and that was spectacular.
Now here's a chance for the Stars out in front. Oh, dear Bussi! What a save! Sam Steele, meet the bus driver. He's not letting you on tonight. Johnson working his way through. Bussi denies on the backhand.
Oh, what a save that is with Johnston's finishing ability.
Yep, he got Wyatt Johnson, he got Sam Steele, he got Rope Hintz at least twice during the game. There were a couple of saves on Mikko Rantanen as well. Brandon Bussi continues to be just one of the best stories in the entire National Hockey League. He can't win the Calder, by the way. He is a rookie, but he is ineligible for Rookie of the Year because he's elderly. 26 years old is the cutoff. You got to be 26 on September 15th in order to be eligible for the Rookie of the Year. This is a rule that was put in several years ago when a 32-year-old star from Russia played his first year in the NHL and was the easy runaway Calder Trophy winner. So they decided they didn't want old rookies. Whatever. But Brandon Bussi is now 15-2-1 on the season. I know the save percentage numbers won't look great tonight, and he allowed 3, threw 1 in his own net. I'm not really sure why that whistle didn't blow because the puck was invisible. It was stuck in his glove, and when he when he pulled his hand free, threw it in his own net. If he just lays there, they blow the whistle, and it doesn't go in. But you never know what happened after that. Carolina retook the lead on the Gostisbehere power play goal almost immediately after that. But once again, Brandon Bussi gets consecutive starts for Carolina. He started the game in New Jersey, a situation where they desperately had to have a win. Now you're going against the second best team in the National Hockey League in the Dallas Stars. Yeah, I know they haven't, they're now winless in 6. But it's still a great team. It's a team that beat Carolina earlier this year. And you want to continue. You have to start stacking wins. You know, Carolina has had a couple of good stretches, but those stretches haven't lasted long enough. Hell, Buffalo won 10 in a row. Carolina needs a good, long winning streak. And my guess, I wouldn't be shocked if we saw Bussi again against Anaheim on Thursday and then Freddie on Saturday, but we might see Freddie on Thursday against the Ducks. That's the other team that I thought Anderson played really well against this year was Anaheim. I think he had Carolina beat Anaheim 4-1. It actually might have been the last time Anderson allowed fewer than 3 goals in a game. Even though his game against Colorado was great and he allowed 4. And then Seattle comes in on Saturday, and Seattle's been red hot. But Bussi, again, when Carolina needs him to make the saves, first period, then after Rantanen makes it 5-2. And I kind of think that that's probably a goal that maybe Bussi would play differently when he watches it on film, because all Rantanen did was get to the front of the net and slide it under him, so your pad's not flat to the ice and your paddle isn't helping you out. So it seemed like a goal that could have been avoided. Like, in retrospect, Rod Brindamore was right the other day about Freddie. The Gabe Landeskog wrap goal, so you shouldn't allow that. Like, that was the goal that you shouldn't allow, not the third one against Drury. We talked about that. No need to relitigate the whole thing. But I think the goal that made it 5-2 is probably one that Bussi would like a mulligan on. But then the saves he made right after that. to keep the game 5-2. Imagine what happens, because Dallas did have some good chances to score right after that. Imagine what happens if that game goes to 5-3 and there's like 17 and a half minutes left. I mean, you couldn't pull a pin out of anybody's rear end with a Mack truck if that game had gone to 5-3. But that's where, we can get caught up in save percentage and goals against average, or, what you do in high danger situations. Sometimes you just need to make a save at the right time. And that's really what Brandon Bussi has done all year long. The goals against average number, that's low. It's like, 2.3? It's pretty good. The save percentage number is not awesome. Well, I mean, he did allow 100 goals on 5 shots against Montreal, but the save percentage numbers are not, they're not stellar. They're just good enough. But man, he's making big saves at big times. And real quick, and I want to move on. I do think Bussi's personality allows him the ability to kind of process things and move on to the next. I think he's just, and I think I might have said this the last time we got together. I think he's having so much fun doing this that he's not creating the stress for himself. Like, Logan Stankoven went 11 games without a goal. He had 1 in 26 until scoring in New Jersey on Sunday, and then he scored again tonight. And I think you could see sometimes players really pressing and creating more stress for themselves because they know they need to help out more. But I don't think you get that from Bussi. I think you get, like, his answer when Trip Tracy talked about it with him, even before he had the bad game, was the trick is just like really relishing the opportunity to bounce back, having fun, enjoying the whole process. And I think that has really allowed Bussi the ability to just move on. He can move on from a goal. He certainly moved on from the Montreal game, has played well twice in a row. All of it is absolutely great. And it's given Carolina the opportunity to simply roll with what they've got right now. I still believe they have to go out and get another goaltender. It doesn't have to be somebody who's a star. And honestly, I don't even know who's available. I really don't. But I do think Carolina needs another option with NHL experience. I don't know Frederik Andersen could go to the Olympics and get hurt for Denmark. And then what? I don't think Bussi and Caden Primo is the answer. That's just, I could be wrong there, but exactly.
About how Seth Jarvis plays this game. Hannah Yates said it earlier. He only knows one speed to play at.
I'm going to start drinking chocolate milk.
Oh, they'll score! Ottinger mishandles the puck, and there he is! Welcome back! Seth Jarvis draws the penalty and scores the goal!
I mean, how good is it to see Seth Jarvis back on the ice, back in a game, back just injecting energy into everything Carolina does? And I've been saying this for, I don't know, the last 2 years. I love Jarvis with Stahl and Martinook. Love it. He loves it. He enjoys playing that brand of hockey. It's why Jarvis can play anywhere in the lineup. Because the way Rod Brindamore wants at least certain players to play, he wants everybody to play like that. But he knows that Stahl and Martinook play the same way all the time. And that's Jarvis's natural game. In many ways, Stankoven is the same way. Jarvis is a bigger version of Stankoven. It's true. Find the line there. Because I think Stankoven fits well there when he has to play there. But I really do. I love Jarvis with Stahl and Martinook. And that line was good tonight. Carolina's best two lines, though, were the top line and the Stankoven line. We'll get to those in a second. I want to talk about Carolina's Aho, Svechnikov, Ehlers trio. But let's spend a little bit more time on Seth. So as Carolina was going through their problems, and Jarvis was there when they blew the 3-goal lead that first game in Florida. By the way, the Panthers will be here in about a week and a half. But after that, they missed Jarvis. He missed the next 8. And when Carolina loses games, and look, we forget who's not in the lineup. But how many of those games? I mean, Slavin's only played 5 all year. This was the 43rd game of the season tonight. Jacob Slavin has played in 5 of them. 5. They won their first 2. I think they won 2 of the other 3. The one they lost was the one he left. Then he wasn't going to play the next game against Tampa. And then we realized, oh, he's hurt. Anyway, so he's only played 5. You make the argument Jacob Slavin is Carolina's best player. And he's only played 5 games. They were without Jarvis for the last 8. They've been without Miller. They were out without Gostisbehere. They've had a lot of issues health-wise. And I keep saying it, and yet they have managed to negotiate it well enough. Not great. They should be further ahead than they are. They shouldn't have lost many of the games that they ultimately have lost. They shouldn't have lost either game to Florida. They shouldn't have, the Tampa game, they didn't really play well, to be honest. But they shouldn't have lost either game to Florida. They shouldn't have lost to the Avalanche. Although, as I said Saturday night, it's a much more even game than anybody wanted to admit through 2 periods. Carolina had a 3-1 lead, but I don't think they were 3-1 better. They just had the 3-1 lead. They capitalized, and for 2 periods, Frederik Andersen was pretty doggone good. I'm looking forward to Andersen's next start. That's a big start for him. It's a big start so he doesn't get forgotten. Carolina's about winning games. Rod Brindamore is going to roll with whoever he thinks gives him the best chance to win. It's just flat out what he's going to do. But Jarvis comes back and he brings you that jolt. He is a great player. It sucks that the Canadian Olympic team overlooked him because, I talked about it with Rod. He says, I look at that roster, and I'm not going to argue against any player. Everybody on that team is great. I actually saw a lineup of what you would call snubs among the forwards. And if Canada sent that group, it would have a chance to win gold. I don't know that group is as good as the top, the USA's group. But I think Canada's second team of forwards would be no worse than the third team of forwards at the Olympics. And probably their second team of defense as well. I think if Canada put 2 teams in, Canada would get 2 medals. That's how deep they are. So I always thought Jarvis was kind of a bubble guy anyway. But I want to roll through a couple of other quick things here before we dump out. Noah Philp, 2 good periods, really good periods. I thought he was noticeably good. He was physical. He had 4 hits. I think he won 4 of his 5 faceoffs and then didn't play in the 3rd period. So hopefully he'll be okay. Got hurt late in the 2nd period, and like the 3rd period starts, and I'm like, man, these line combinations are weird. And I didn't see a notification from the Canes PR staff that anybody was hurt. I might have missed it. I apologize. And all of a sudden, I decided, let me just count the bench. and we were down somebody, and then I figured out it was Noah Philp. So it was a good 40 minutes for the newcomers. Plays in his second game. I didn't think he was great in New Jersey, but I think Rod wants to see what's there, and we're talking about a fourth line center. So Jankowski sits, Kokoniemi sits. Kane's Twitter, bless your hearts, man. Bless your hearts. I'm not gonna say anything about it. Just, man, bless your hearts. And some of you are still angry after tonight's game. I don't understand, but whatever. Be as angry as you need to be. So we'll see if Philp is okay. If he can't go, then it'll be either Jankowski or Kokoniemi to center that fourth line. Rod's going to leave Stankoven in the middle because it gets, especially with Jarvis healthy again, now you know that you're going to get all of your top guys out, at least in your top three lines. And with Jarvis on the Stahl-Martinook line, that line will probably get a little bit more time. The fourth line might just be kind of forgotten at this point. And I don't know that Taylor Hall is going to stay on that line forever. But right now, Taylor Hall is playing very well, and you take advantage of it. We've said this before. For a couple of weeks, Taylor Hall can play up in your lineup. And then let him go back down, play 11 minutes a game, being dangerous on a fourth line. That Carolina's fourth line, let's just say it's Kokoniemi with Robinson and Hall. That line should score. Flat out, that line should score. But I want to close on Carolina's top line. So I thought Andrei and Ehlers were the two best on it today. I thought Aho had really good moments. I also think he had some not so great moments passing the puck tonight. Of course, his pass to Svechnikov on the first Miller goal was nasty. Great play by Ehlers to skate it up the wall, get it back to Aho, who just kind of redirected the puck between his legs out to Svechnikov, who passed it across to Miller for the one-timer goal. It was gorgeous. Anyway, Aho, last 11 games, 8 goals, 9 assists. Andrei, last 11 games, 5 goals, 12 assists. That's 17 points each for Aho and Svechnikov in the last 11 games. 34 points combined for those two guys in the last 11 games. It's not quite McDavid Draisaitl-ish. That's just normal for them. But that's a really good run. Ehlers, 10 points in his last 6. 3 goals, 7 assists in his last 6 games. And since the beginning of the season, remember when Ehlers, I think, had 5 straight games with no points? Ehlers is up to 34 points in 42 games. Svechnikov went the first 8 this year with nothing. Bupkis, 35 points in 42 games. Take the first 8 out, 35 points in 34 games for Andrei. Aho is at a point a game exactly, 43 points in 43 games. Actually, I did the math poorly. It's 43, so it's 35 and 35 for Andrei. Math is a struggle for me, apparently. Gostisbehere has 30 points in 31 games. Seth Jarvis, 20 goals on the season. He increases his team lead. Aho is next with 17, but Jarvis has 31 points in 35 games. They've got some good players. I think Carolina will probably be okay. Still think they need to add. And one of my questions to Rod Brindamore today was about, I don't know if pestering is the right word, but letting Eric Tulsky and Tom Dundon know what he thinks they need down the stretch. We did not get into the specifics, and I think all of us can figure out for ourselves what we think they need. I think they need another NHL goalie. I think they need a better option at second center than what they've got. And even if that's just a rental for the rest of this season, I think they need that. But right now, they obviously played very, very well tonight. By the way, that top line, third straight game, Rod Brindamore sent him out best on best. I understand Carolina lost to Colorado. But at 5-on-5, Aho, Svechnikov, and Ehlers were better than McKinnon, Landeskog, and Natchez. Flat out. At 5-on-5, the Aho line was better than the McKinnon line. Last night in New Jersey, the Aho line was better than the Hughes line. Tonight here, the Aho line was better than Rantanen, Wyatt Johnston, and Matt Duchene. Flat out. At 5-on-5, better. That is really good to see. Really good to see. Shouts to Brandon, who listened to the game on the plane flying to Denver. I mean, I'm assuming you're watching this, and I hope you had a great flight, and I hope you enjoyed Denver. That will do it. I am Adam Gold. This has been the Canes Corner podcast, available right here on YouTube after every Hurricanes game. We are brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. Go check them out. If you need siding, roofing, windows, entry doors, storm doors, gutter helmets, they've got it. All in Durham. AluminumCompany.com. We'll see everybody after the Canes and the Ducks on Thursday. Good night.